Hello everyone, this is a tutorial on how to get a Zooz Z-Wave Plus 4-in-1 sensor into Home Assistant. Now this sensor is found on Amazon for $37. It's a really good sensor. It does motion, luminance, temperature, and humidity. And it is a very, as the box says there, low profile. It does have a tamper alert. It is Z-Wave Plus, so it can be secure. And it can be mounted virtually anywhere. Wall, corner, ceiling. So this guide right here is going to show you how to get it added into Home Assistant. Now, first thing is when you get to Home Assistant, you'll notice on this one, I'm using the new Loveless UI, which is going to be up and coming, the default UI in Home Assistant. If you don't know much about Home Assistant, I would recommend you go to home-assistant.io and take a look at the Home Assistant. It is an open source platform for home automation. It is an alternative to SmartThings or Wink, and it works really well. It does require some programming on your part, but it is getting easier and easier as we go about the updates. First thing we're going to want to do in the Home Assistant is go to the configuration section. We're going to go to Z-Wave. Now, if this is your first Z-Wave sensor, you won't have to really worry about doing this next step. But if this is your second or third sensor, like I have, you're going to have to take note of this. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on Nodes, and you're going to go down to where you see Zooz, and you're going to see here, this one is Node 33. That was the latest one that I added, Node 33. So theoretically, when we add the next one, it should take Node 34. I have seen it take other numbers. But just keep that in mind that you're looking at Z-Wave or Z-Wave Node 33. You're looking for the next Node 34. So what we're going to do is you're going to follow the instructions that came with the Zooz sensor. I won't be able to show you that part of it, but you will take the Zooz sensor, you'll put the battery in, you'll get the pinhole, and you are going to get ready to add it to Home Assistant. So in order to do that, you ready the sensor with the paperclip in the pinhole, and you're going to click Add Node Secure. When you do that, you're going to then press down on the sensor twice in succession, quickly, twice in succession, and that should initiate the adding of the node into Home Assistant. If it doesn't, sometimes I've noticed that it won't, but what we can do here is I'll show you there is the guide. Let me move back real quick here. Let me just move back to Home Assistant. So if you look here on the OZW log, what you can do is you can type in like 50 lines, and then you can type in tail. And what tail will do is it'll give you a running, a live view of what's happening with all of the Z-Wave nodes. So what we're going to do is you'll see here that, oh, there it is, Node 34. Now, it is working right now. It is doing stuff. So it did find a node 34, and it is going through all of the procedures for setting up. Now, we're going to let this run for a little bit. I've noticed that sometimes you have to wake up the Zooz sensor because it does go into sleep mode. And so even though it is going through the process of setting up within Home Assistant, it sometimes falls asleep. So you have to wake it up by pressing the pinhole one time. And after that is done, what we're going to have to do is restart Home Assistant. So we're going to go into the Has.io configuration. This is if you are running Has.io. We're going to go to System, and we're going to say Reboot. Now, this part right here will take a little while. Usually takes about a minute or so, maybe a little bit longer. So we're going to come back to this after the Home Assistant has rebooted. All right, so now that Home Assistant has rebooted, we're going to get back into the Z-Wave node management section, and we're going to look and see if the node has now appeared. If we look here, we're not seeing the node anywhere here, so that means it's not actually quite there yet. You can see it says unknown node 34. So it's actually going through the setup right now. So I'm going to wake it up by pressing the pinhole one time, and I should see the thing flash once. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Now, we're going to let that go through the setup process. Sometimes it takes a couple of minutes, but we're going to just let that go through and see what happens here. So this is my log book that shows all of my other devices. We got a lot of motion sensors, and these are my other Zooz sensors. So we're just checking to see. It says right here, see, this one changes 0. So it looks like it's in the process of actually being set up. So again, we're going to go back to nodes. We're going to see here. It's still set. Okay, now it's probing it. So now if we look here, it's showing node 34 probe. So it's actually going through the process. Every once in a while, you may want to use the pinhole to go ahead and just wake it up. And then we're going to look at the log, and we're going to see on here, you see how it says node 34. So it's going through. It's actually finding the node. It just needs to get through the process of setting up. So we're just going to let that go for a little bit here. So 34, receive data. Receive data. Okay, node 34 has been marked as asleep. So again, we're going to wake it up again. We're going to let it go through. This is kind of the most annoying part about the Zooz sensor. It is a good sensor. The setup process is a little bit daunting at times. But once you know where to look at and you got the log up there running, you can see that it is actually doing something. So we're just going to keep making sure. See, again, it's marked as asleep. So one more time. We're going to wake it up. Let it get out there, find all its data. Okay, once we do that, we're going to go back into here. So let's go ahead and refresh this page. All right, let's see if it shows up now. There it is. Boom. Zooz 4-in-1 sensor, node 34 static. So there it is. So now what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to name this one friendly. So if you look at what I did here, I did Zooz Eric, Zooz Living. So now I'm going to name this one a little something different. So it's just for my own personal thing, so I know which one I'm looking at. Again, if you only have one sensor, you really don't need to do it, but I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do here is click on node information, and I'm going to click on the little gear icon, and I'm going to name this Master Bedroom Zooz. Okay, so now that is done, you'll see how it says Master Bedroom Zooz. The node 34, the node name is Zooz ZSE40 4-in-1 sensor, and it gives you a bunch of extra information. So now, once we have done that, go ahead and just refresh this one more time so you can see it. We're going to go all the way down. There it is, Zooz Living Room. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Where did it go? Huh. Where did it go? It might have actually rebooted. It might have been not quite all the way done. So let's go ahead and wake it up again. And click the pinhole. All right, now let's get back in here. Z-Wave. We're going to go to nodes. Scroll down. Interesting. It has now disappeared. All right, so let's go back into the log. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, we're tailing the log. Okay, I'm going to wake it up one more time by clicking in the pinhole. I should see some data come across. Nothing net. Let's go ahead and refresh this page. So we're going to have to refresh this. Okay. Let's see what we got going on here. All right, so there's that. Let's go ahead and see now it's got information coming back in there. I'm going to wake it up one more time so you can see the information come through. There it is again. It's coming through. It's expected callback was received. You're getting the good stuff there. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into Z-Wave node management. Again, like I told you, sometimes it requires a little bit of extra love. But we should see this come through momentarily. There it is. It probably was already there, to be honest with you. I just was looking at the bottom because I always considered that to be where it's at, but that's probably what it was. So Master Bedroom Zooz. There it is. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to see the entities of this node. And you can see in here you've got burglar, which is your motion alarm. You've got clock. You've got emergency, home health. Emergency, I don't really know much about. I don't know what we're using that for. Home health, I don't really know. Luminance is for how much light is in the place right now in the room. Power management, don't really use it. I think that is for the battery indicator. Haven't gotten into figuring out how to use that yet. Relative humidity, obviously, is your humidity in the room. Source node ID, don't use it. Sensor system 4, don't use it. And sensor temperature 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to name these to a friendly name so we can add them to our overview. So first one I'm going to do is burglar. So we're going to click on where it says that. So now it says sensor burglar 7. We're going to go to entity information. And again, we're going to click on this little icon up here. We're going to name this master bedroom motion. Okay. Now that it's changed, we're going to close that out. Then we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go into luminance. Okay. I'm going to go to entity information. We're going to say master bedroom luminance. All right. Then we're going to go into the next one, relative humidity. One last time. Actually, we got one more after this. Master bedroom humidity. Okay. And then we have, finally, we have temperature. So we're going to click that gear icon again. Master bedroom temperature. Okay, now we're done. Now, one last thing you can do on this before I go back to the overview is in the instructions, it does mention on the back side of it under advanced settings, it does mention a section called customize your sensor where you can see the parameters and the values. Now, how to do that, I had to stumble across this. I couldn't figure it out earlier, but this is how you do this. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the master bedroom Zooz, the actual node. You're not going to click on. Let's see. Actually, it doesn't even list it here, so don't have to worry about that. So just master bedroom Zooz. What you're going to do is you're going to scroll down to where it says node config options. Okay. Now, when you click on config parameter, well, first off, let me tell you about this. This wake up, this 43,200 second wake up, that means it's going to wake up every 12 hours to get updates. You really don't want to adjust that. You don't really have a need to adjust it. Once you have this thing configured, you don't really need it to wake up every hour to get updates. It's just going to waste your battery. So while you're doing the setup process, just wake it up manually with the pinhole. So going back to what I was mentioning about the advanced settings, node config options, you're going to click on config parameter, and there you go. There's all of the parameters. So temperature scale, we can set this right here. So we got Fahrenheit or Celsius. So we're going to keep it in Fahrenheit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to temperature change notification. That is parameter number 2. Now, it also says right here, minimum temperature change that will trigger a report to the controller in 0.1 degrees. 10 equals 1.0 degrees is the default. Now, I personally like it to be a little bit more sensitive, so I'm going to put a 5. So it will report back to the controller, Home Assistant, every half of degree that changes in my room. Gets it a little bit more granular with it. Then we're going to move on to humidity change notifier. Again, same thing. I like it to be a little bit more sensitive, so I'm going to type 5, click config set parameter. Light change notification, I'm not really too concerned about that. I'm not really using these as a luminance detector. It's just a feature that comes with it. It's fine. Motion sensor trigger interval. After initial motion, sensor will wait this long before reporting again. 15 equals 15 seconds. So that's the default. I don't care. I'm going to leave it there. Motion sensor sensitivity. If you want this to be a super sensitive motion sensor, you can change it right here. Very high, high, very low. I'm just going to leave mine set to normal. And the LED indicator mode. Now, by default, it will flash when it detects motion. I don't really want that, especially this is going to be in my bedroom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to change this to off. Now, it will still work. It just, the LED that's built into the motion detector will not flash every single time it detects motion. So we're going to click on config set parameter. And that's basically it. Now I've already set up all my configs. Excuse me for that. Knocked a little sensor over. And I'm going to wake up the sensor one more time by pressing once on the pinhole. And this will wake it up. And it will then, let's see, let me show you the log. It should wake it up and it'll get all those updates. So all those things that I just set, it's going to update it. There we go. Done. All right, now we're done with that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some customization of the actual Z-Wave component that we just added. So we're going to go into configuration and we're going to go to customization. Now we're going to find the icon or the sensor component that we just added, and we're going to make a few changes to it. So first off is master bedroom humidity. When we get in here, you're going to notice I already did this one. before the recording of the video. So I'm going to show you what I have done here. So we did all of these right here. These attributes are grayed out because these are default. But you can override them by clicking on the little pencil icon. So you'll notice that unit of measurement, it was down here. So I clicked on the pencil and I told this to be in percent because we want humidity as a percentage. Also what I had done was down here, you click on pick an attribute to override and you'll see icon. Now when I did icon, then I pasted in this MIDI water percent. If you want the icon list, I'll put a link in the description below. It's going to have thousands and thousands of icons you can use in Home Assistant. This one is going to be a water droplet with a percentage indicator inside of it. You can't see it right here. I had to turn off Chrome hardware acceleration to make this video possible, so it's not showing the icon, but it is there, and we'll see it later. So that's the first one, master bedroom humidity. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into master bedroom luminance. Now this one I haven't done yet. I did it, but I kind of undid it so I can show you the process. So unit of measurement, now it says lux. That's because I had typed it in that way. Previously, it doesn't say anything. So you're going to click on this. We're going to type in lux because luminance is measured in lux. Once you do that, we're going to also, normally you would click pick an attribute to override and click icon, but it's already there. So we're going to override it and we're going to use MDI white balance sunny. So we're going to save this. All right, now we're going to go into motion. Again, same thing. We don't care about unit of measurement in the motion. It's just off or on, so that's fine. But we're going to use the icon MIDI run. Again, you click on pick an attribute to override, click icon, then find your icon in the list of all the icons and choose that right there. You're going to save it. Now we're going to go in. The last one is master bedroom temperature. Now this one is brand new. I have not touched this one yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to find one that I've done earlier, and I'm going to take the MDI icon from that. So I'm going to find Eric bedroom temperature. And actually, I never did override the icon on that, so that's fine. So we're just going to use this. We're going to copy that unit of measurement, degree Fahrenheit. So now we're going to go down to master bedroom temperature. We're going to override unit of measurement, put in degree Fahrenheit. Boom, done. All right, now we are done with this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go into overview. This is the overview that I have set up. You can see I have Eric's room set up with motion, luminance, there's the humidity symbol, and there is temperature. Same thing with living room, that I have my other sensor. We have living room motion, living room humidity, living room temperature, living room luminance. I'm going to set up a brand new card for the bedroom. So on Loveless, again, this is the Loveless UI, which is going to be coming out. It's going to be default later on, but for right now, I'm using it, and you can too if you click on the little three icons over here, and I believe it says try Loveless, or actually no, I'm sorry, you would go here, the eye icon, and you'll see where it says try out the new Loveless UI. If you click that, and then you click this to set Loveless as default page on this device, and then you reload, you should see Loveless as the new thing. And I have a theme put in mine as well, so I know people are going to ask, well, how'd you get it to be dark? Well, it's because I created a theme. We'll do that in a different video. So anyway, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do another card. So I'm going to go to Configure UI, and we're going to then add a entity. We're going to call this Master Bedroom. Okay, and we're going to add the entities. So entity, the first one we're going to want to do is, find it right here. Okay, so we're going to say, let's say master bedroom motion is first. And then we're going to do all the way down. See, once you get all these things, it takes a little bit. There, master bedroom luminance. Find out then the next one. Let's see. Master bedroom motion, master bedroom luminance. Go master bedroom humidity. And then finally it's going to be master bedroom temperature. There it is. So that's how it's going to look. Now, I don't want this little switch right here because it doesn't actually have any switches in my master bedroom that are Z-Wave. So I'm going to click this show header toggle. It's going to disappear. So now we have it that. And bam, there it is, master bedroom. Now, if I wanted to move this, I can move this card up. So now, okay, I like that. Eric's room, master bedroom. It's all one nice little column. Everything else got moved over a little bit. It's totally fine with that. I can also move this around. Oh, see, now see it screwed everything up. So we're going to not do that. So now I like the way this looks. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this X to edit UI. Get rid of that. There we go. Now, you'll notice this is not reporting anything because, again, it's brand new. We need to let this go through for a little while, and it'll eventually will start reporting all the data to Home Assistant. You can see here I added this one a few hours ago, and now it's already reporting all this data. So that is the tutorial on how to add a Zooz 4-in-1 sensor to Home Assistant. I hope this was informative. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. We'll be doing some more Home Assistant videos in the future. Thank you very much. Have a good one.